And our final arena of the night, we move over to the final series of the night with RNG taking on TOP, our match of the week. And we are at Beijing to bring that to you. RNG's home arena, which has been many the crowd to RNG's more than exciting games. Of course, RNG built up the hype last week when they took down EDG last Sunday, to be specific. TOP entering the arena. And remember, for TOP, this is the future of the LPL. This is a team that is explosive and dangerous to the core. It is an IG that is working its way towards the point of IG. For TOP, it has been such a journey so far, proving that they deserve to be in that upper echelon, that they deserve to be a contender for MSI to start our season off. And TOP, they have to feel confident going into RNG. But RNG is still the MSI champions from 2018. And this is still their home arena. Spirits are high with TOP, but of course, why shouldn't they be? They need to be going up against RNG. Welcome back to our final series of the night. My name's Jake Pengo. This is Barento Raz Muhammad, and we're into our match of the week, and RNG TOP is finally here.
Yeah, let's go, let's go. I love the fact that we had our first 3-set day that we have. We have a nice little cookie at the end that's just TOP and RNG. The best series you'll have from both of these teams at this half of the split. I want to be able to get into it as soon as possible. Considering
both teams have performed so well, so do I. RNG just came off that win against EDG last Sunday in match of the week, a 2-0 clean. TOP have come through 4-1. They're sitting on the standings at the moment. And for TOP, their only loss being against Invictus Gaming at the start of the season.
Yeah, so they're on that train. 4-series win streak. TOP seem unstoppable. It's kind of funny because I have this Raz recap segment that I go through, and it's crazy how quickly they go through a lot of these teams that it feels like it's just that short. The recap is the game. When they went up against OMG, it was a slaughtering, and so it's just so insane to see another team not named IG that just are so dominant in laning phase.
Because a lot of people out there would know that JD were the team to defeat IG most recently, and JD were the team that were hyped up. TOP went up against JD very recently and slaughtered them as well.
Through just raw team fighting. JD were known as team fighters. Took IG to the last game in playoff time in the 5th game and lost out to that. Now, of course, they lost a few members, and so going up against TOP had the opportunity to take LokeN down, a former JD member in his own right. And it was actually just a straight stomping through team fights. It felt like LokeN outclassed Bavoy in all instances. And in this recent one, you get to see how talented across the map they are. Knight having an outplayed topside, but at the same time knows that you can see in the minimap rotation both from LokeN and 369 to back them up. It's insane to say that when you go up against TOP, you're not just going up against individual powerhouses. It's these members that can follow through. Cross-map play, it feels like. Roaming from mid lane up to top to basically help out Knight in the rotation.
Because a lot of people know about RNG, and that's why we really want to hammer down why TOP are a massive thorn in their sides in this series. We start with 369. He's a rookie in the top lane, but after so far, you wouldn't think 369's a rookie with the way he's been performing.
Basically a Rookie of the Year candidate.
Yeah.
At this point in time, he's just too consistent in lanes, and it's the same if you go across the map. It goes from top lane, mid lane. Knight has been so stellar as well. XX has been, last year he's my most improved jungler. Now I just have him on my top 3. He's that good. And then it's so hard to kind of miss out in what is a golden nugget, which is LokeN. LokeN as a player last year, for me, the discussion was starting about, is he a top 3, top 4 AD carry? He went to the playoffs, went hard, and then when it came down to it, of course he lost out. But going into this year, He's had the best 2 years of his life, and he is really punching up in what is the top 3 discussion. The way you get into that discussion is if you take down Uzi, Jackie Love, iBoy. Start out with this man. Look at the stats. Uzi hasn't had a lot of time in the split, but he's doing well.
That's exactly right. Now, Uzi has played only 2 series since returning from Chinese New Year. RNG had been using Wink before. LokeN has played since day 1, so that's why this is so much more impressive that he's kept such a high stat after playing so much.
And first blood percentage really goes to show, if you just look at how they played in the last 2 series, the 2 series that we've seen so far from Uzi, they played around him. They played through him, like through Xiaohu, and they played through top lane. And it was just the team fights that mattered the most. They were well protected. They were hot in team fights. And at the end of the day, you have now number 1 in KDA, who's LokeN, and number 2, who's KDA off of a few series already, who's Uzi.
Yeah.
I think both these guys are exceptional team fight performers that you got to see in their last series. And whoever loses, I don't even care. At this point, who dies? Like, which guy dies and mucks up their KDA at this point, and maybe gives it back to Kuro, who's losing a few deaths in the last time round.
Unfortunately, yeah. But with the champion pool at the very least for 80 carries going into Uzi, we know Vayne in the LPL has been picked quite a lot. I would like to see, something like that maybe contested. I would like to see something like LokeN's champion pool come into the fray as well.
I think it really depends on what style RNG coming out with right now, because if we are to take any of the last series into heavy consideration, they're not playing through Uzi as we thought they would. Because last few years, they were like, okay, in comes RNG Uzi. Uzi's supposed to be the savior. Play through me, I'll pick Vayne, and you're supposed to come down for an easy first blood. I pick up the first blood, not you. Get back into the jungle. It feels like that is not the case here, where they're going through Xiaohu. Now, reasonably, if you saw last 2018 during the regular season, they were playing through Xiaohu Karsa pretty religiously. It felt like they had multiple styles. Now, the fact that we're not seeing MLXG, he's going to be out for the split. Yeah. The fact that we're not seeing Letme and Zitai, naturally they're great carry options. We're going to be seeing a very limited style where they're playing through Xiaohu or they're playing through Uzi, maybe both. Yep. And so that makes it so they're going to be playing through team fights a little bit more often. And this is all with the assumption that AmazingJ is going to be playing what he knows and loves, which are like tanks. He's a great facilitator, great team fighter. But if he gets the option, as we saw when they went up against Vici, he'll pick up the Yorick as well.
We know that old AJ, especially on the BLG top side, would play something like a carry, but it's been more about the Sion, more about something like the Urgot potentially as well. Power picks in this series, Raz. Talk to me. What do you think is going to be highly contested, and what do we look out for moving into the first big fan?
I would say Syndra has become such a strong pick, and it's already a Xiaohu special. Another one is Corki. Now, Xiaohu has a meme about Corki. He did an insane amount of damage in a playoff time. He was the Corki player to watch for. But if you've already seen it, the meta is moving towards crate 80 carries. And sure, right now we're on 9.2. You're already seeing Corki start to sprout out with Knight's champion pool. Knight's champion pool, he just disregards all of the meta and just goes to what he's known and what made him popular. Here comes RNG though. AmazingJ in the top lane. Karsa in the jungle. Xiaohu in the mid lane. Uzi and Ming lining up the bottom side of the map. Xiaohu, what he's holding right now is legitimately RNG. He's carrying the team. He is such a strong player this start of this play.
He's also showing the level of potential there that RNG will rise to. We move over to TOP, 369 in the top lane, XX jungle, Knight, the rookie, the star mid laner with LokeN and Ben in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he was a rookie last year. Missed his chance because he didn't get to play in the summer.
Still feels like a rookie in someone's eyes.
Because he's going to be starting from the beginning. Spring split until the end. We get to see Knight unfiltered. I want to see what he can do because he changes the meta. It feels like when you go up against TOP, you're going up against Knight's champion pool. Bring in the Jace when he feels like it's necessary. Echo has been a true go-to for him. And then if you see his solo queue, he can go towards the Fizz. He basically plays anything, and they play through him. It feels like Caps in a sense, where his champion pool is something that he's going to be pressuring forward. It's the team that now has to play through him and make it successful.
I also want to raise in that champion pool of both Xiaohu and Knight. Zoe has been a highly contested pick in the EDG series for Xiaohu, especially Knight has just looked uncontested on it as well. Maybe that is just put up to the case.
And we thought that strength of schedule was, not giving TOP the just rewards or just dues where they were slamming teams in the first 3 weeks because they were just far below 500 teams. And then when they went up against JD, remember, they're staying in Beijing. JD and RNG, it seems like right now they've had some time to settle in, calm down, take down JDG, and they're looking at RNG right.
See if they can do the same to RNG. Let's jump in. RNG 3-1, TOP 4-1. We already talked about that Syndra Raz contested here in game 1 as it's banned away alongside that Thresh and Lissandra.
Yeah, they're on blue side, so they can do whatever they want. Taking Ming's Thresh and taking away Xiaohu's Syndra makes it so you can play whatever you want mid lane. Like, mid lane suddenly is a lot more wide open. Remember, that does mean that Urgot's still up, Cassiopeia is still up.
Ooh.
There are so many insane picks that you can go for now.
We did see the Zoe banned away as well. First pick there for TOP towards LokeN. We did also hype that matchup up, so with the Karsa carry potential now for the bot side.
It's a good takeaway because oftentimes if you are, you know, let's say Abel right now, who's playing on the Royal Club lineup in the LDL, or at least he will be, and he sees a Karsa, he goes towards a Yasuo pick. Yeah. Yasuo is really good as a great counter towards the Karsa because he has an earlier power spike, and also just through his W can really negate a lot of the damage. My point is that you will not see that from Uzi because Uzi has a much slimmer champion pool, but there we go, the 1-2.
Oh yeah, now LeBlanc in the first rotation for red side means TOP can make some adaptations here. Well, they might force something out like the support. The Galio's locked in, which tonight we've seen in support rather than mid.
Something you see from Knight a little bit when he knows he's going up against the LeBlanc is the Corki, yes. And also on top of that, there's the Ryze. So it would make a lot of sense if TOP plays it safe to pick the Ryze, but also if they want to hold out a little bit, pick up the Corki as well.
Okay, so still on the table, the Alistar, of course, over to Ben. Also denies Ming. TOP right now kind of taking more away than gaining themselves potentially. Silence we did see, but something a little bit safer. There it is, the Ryze locked in.
Yeah, they were just going to pick it up here. The fact that they held on to it a little bit longer and is probably just them saying that we don't want to have the extra bit of rotation. Let's say if it's already XX and Knight picking, then why have XX pick it up if Knight's going to keep onto it anyways? It makes a lot of sense. He knows what matchup he's going to be going into. So for TOP, this looks like a pretty good teamfight composition already in their first 3 picks. I just wonder what now we're going to be seeing from XX and 369.
You'd have to assume that you're going to lose a lot of your junglers, as the Lee Sin was the final lock-in for RNG. The Xin Zhao is next. And the Vayne ban as well. Over to Uzi.
Yeah, if you're just taking a look at the bottom lane, I wonder if he would ever pick Vayne, knowing that he has a pretty weak bottom side of the map in terms of push. Galio and Vayne is just really them trying to play it safe, as in, like, they're not going to be trying to kill the lane, but more often just trying to stay under tower.
Yeah.
But Vayne is a pretty decent matchup into the Kai'Sa once he hits 6, so that's probably their consideration here.
It's also remembering that the Ezreal can do quite well into it as well. Looking at something maybe like the Sivanaw, which Uzi's opted in for when the bottom lane has been shoved out so hard. And that's the option available. The Camille was the final ban over for RNG, but Xayah picked up. This is a first in a very long while in the LPL.
Yeah, once he learned the Xayah, or at least mastered it, he just picked it whenever he found it was viable. So just being able to play it extra safe whenever Alistar comes in for a headbutt pulverized combo, and the feathers that are on the field in larger team fights, he has made it look so strong. Just knowing that he's going up against the Karsa, saying, okay, I'm going to scale alongside you. I can play a longer game. I don't have to worry about Ezreal or Lucian really speeding it up.
Because at the moment, you just know what's going to be picked if you're RNG. The Urgot locked in, and surprised that the Urgot made it this far in draft without getting banned out, as well as the Nocturne locked in for XX.
Well, that answers the top side. We didn't get to see too much Nocturne in the LPL. I know it's an MLXG special here, but no MLXG to be found with Karsa playing this one out. But Nocturne looking like a good pick for just like a bottom lane bully.
Yeah.
You're seeing Kai'Sa, Alistar, and Nocturne. That's a strong 3v3. I wonder what RNG is going to do to protect that.
Maybe they put a Sion into the top side because that is a Galio support. We knew that as soon as the LeBlanc got locked in, and it was the most likely case. And RNG, I mean, they can team fight as well. It's just different merits here to both comps.
I think the 2v2 is so important here through the mid lane. Ryze and Nocturne versus LeBlanc and Lee Sin. you better believe that the Ryze is going to be a primary focus here with LeBlanc picking up Ignite. So you love to see if Knight gets soloed out, if he goes phase rush, or if he decides to go for a far more defensive aftershock. So few options here. Knight, for me, sounds like a phase rush type of person.
Yep.
If you give it to him and say, hey, it's about skill level here, can you dodge out the Lee Sin Q with your, your movement speed? Hell yeah, you can.
He says, yeah, of course he does. Well, it's Knight versus Xiaohu. This is the matchup we've been waiting for. RNG and TOP in RNG's home arena. The winner of this series will go on to be second or third, I believe. It's a big one.
And for me, what makes this big is the fact you finally get to see Xiaohu's LeBlanc. One of my biggest frustrations for RNG as an organization, and when it comes down to the games that matter, it feels like they neuter Xiaohu. They say, no LeBlanc, even though you have made a name off of LeBlanc.
Play the Galio.
You're playing Galio, you're playing Sion, you're playing a supportive option. And honestly, when they lost to G2, not a lot of people want to talk about those moments. It was because they had one focus, and that was through Uzi.
Yeah.
And no other damage threats. No other threats on the map, no assassin. They deprioritized LeBlanc, but this is the split where they're really putting it all in on Xiaohu. And you want to see that consistency. The fact that they've done this in what is an important matchup to them, I think says a whole lot.
You're taking Ignite into the mid lane, that tells me even more. This one's going to be bloody. And through the 2v2. Remember XX on Nocturne. More like a Jax play. He'll play the Xin Zhao as well. But this time on the Nocturne, looking to influence Knight, the stated best mid laner in the world who hasn't been on a world stage. This is the journey to do so. Let's enter our match of the week here in RNG's home arena in Beijing. Game 1 versus TOP. Now, of course, RNG go first because it is their home arena. It doesn't matter red side or blue side. That's what I've learnt since coming to China. Their house, their rules. But you can see the RNG crowd are out in force, of course. This is an important one. All right, Ryze, let's take a look. It is the Aftershock on Knight. So I guess we were wrong.
That's true. Aftershock does simplify the matchup a little bit. It was already a good matchup for the Ryze. Early on now, going to be able to... I would expect him to start out his Rune Prison. That's just the game, honestly. Whenever LeBlanc comes even close to you, you Rune Prison her. She says, huh, no, Rune Prison. Doesn't have to say a word. I don't want to hear you.
Stand right there. This is going to be pretty obvious that TOP started towards the bottom side. And it might be more obvious for TOP that Uzi and Ming were there so early in the lane. So very different jungle starts, opposite sides of the map. If we will see a bit of that vertical jungling or top versus bottom side gank. What is that skin?
Oh, that's the...
Is that the Brazil, like Muay Thai Lee Sin?
Well, it's definitely not Muay Thai Lee Sin.
Okay.
That's definitely not the case. It's probably... There's two options. We'll have to see if it's Dragon Fist. But
Brazilian
if it's
Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Stop guessing at this point.
Okay.
But that's actually Dematerializer and...
Yeah. Time Warp Tonic as well.
Excellent. So it's the lovely thing about Time Warp Tonic when they changed it, stop it, Aftershock, is
done.
The fact that whenever you start up a fight, you pop it, you get half of the benefit of it immediately. So the idea of Ignite is actually so much more important now. Because if you Ignite at the very beginning of the fight, great. Like, that's a great way to do it, but by that time, if Time Warp Tonic comes in before the Ignite, and you pick up the potion, then, you know, that potion just wins out.
Bidding his walls right through the middle. It's interesting. I don't know how he bidded 51% to RNG, but sorry, to TOP. Curious enough. LokeN taking a bit of trade down in this bottom lane. More importantly here for TOP, the jungler is moving towards the bottom side, and Karsa is around the mid area. And we talk so heavily about the 2v2. Well, both junglers are around the vicinity.
I didn't even know there was a green chroma for
Neither did
Dragon Fist Lee Sin. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Appeals to the Brazilian audience.
Stop saying Brazilian.
That's what it is. You can see there's a flag on the back, Raz.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, there is. Ming, that was unfortunate. What just happened there?
Here's the pressure we've been looking for, though.
see in a second.
The
Karsa
wave's
puts
in
up
a
level 4.
really good position for Knight. So even still, you can see it slowly. Where's this push going? It's very slightly going towards Xiaohu, but I don't want Lee Sin to wait that long. Is basically what I'm saying. It's too slow.
Meanwhile, the other jungler in XX is going to be spotted by a ward down here, and Uzi and Ming can play with time.
This just benefits XX overall. You don't even have to throw the thumbs up there. He's likely backing anyways. He's cleared out bot side completely. So the Nocturne just benefits off this because he does want to still get to level 6 a little earlier. Level 6 is nice from Karsa, and that's when you start to see him really poke his head out for ultimate engages.
Yep.
But once you hit level 6 for a Nocturne, then you really start seeing them look for more objectives. Dragon's a little bit of a big one for me, where they start to really put the pedal on the metal, just because you get the control of the vision a little bit more frequently.
We also start to see, how impactful this Nocturne pick really is at the first and second ultimate. You or Clement mentioning that the first 2 Nocturne ultimates are pretty much to show the validity of the Nocturne, and after that you're kind of like, well, what's going to happen then?
Well, just increase the range with your ultimate whenever you are able to rank it up.
That's either Brazilian or my eyes are wrong.
We had this discussion.
Yeah, I'm still not accepting the answer. Small CS lead in the bottom lane though, Raz, Uzi. We didn't talk too much about the Xayah, but
think of it this way, especially once you hit 6's Nocturne, you're right about the bottom lane. Bottom lane would be the ultimate focus.
okay.
Headbutt pulverize, or even just the flash pulverize and then headbutt towards your tower. I think it's going to be starting on Ming first. Ming is probably the most important person you want to start out, because it's actually just, especially once you hit 6, it's so difficult to ever be able to get on top of a Xayah, unless if you have a follow-up and if you have time, because not only is she going to be ulting, she has the flash summoners available. It's a lot of trading.
Knight's actually ulting up here. AmazingJ gets flashed on. 369 first blood.
They didn't even need Knight to be coming topside. That was just a straight solo kill. You don't get to see that. AmazingJ throughout his career, if he has a bad laning phase, it's because he's picking for the squad. And in this case, Sion is actually fairly decent into the Urgot.
Yeah.
You should be able to sustain through the matchup, deal with the damage. How did this come about? Because he was full HP for quite some time. Is this overconfidence? It would seem to be the case. He had lost his shield at the exact time as the engage coming through, and you need that. Spoiler alert.
Rookie, by the way. He got all shotgun knees off in one rotation as well. Solo kill there from 369. He's all the way back up in the top lane, has teleport and ignite now.
He has cleanse. I mean, his cult is what I meant.
Yeah.
He has cult for himself, which is so good in terms of sustain. You flick your W on, and you just get so much HP back. HP on hit, which is just a crazy concept to have for an Urgot W.
True.
So, makes it so it's a little bit harder for now AmazingJ to come out through the sustain game. Makes a lot more sense that Karsa is now looking towards top a little bit more keenly.
There's a bit of babysitting now. Still at the CS mark of 369, but XX, a lot of deep vision here early from RNG to spot out where the Nocturne's going. And in the jungle v jungle battle, no one's made the move just yet.
Yeah, level 6, but look at this. Galio in the area. Easily can protect Xiaohu. Makes it so Xiaohu wants to get caught. Watch out for that. The one information they don't have is Ben's positioning, so had he had moved in for that one, there is an option, an opportunity that he might die, knowing that it's a 3v2.
That ward has just paid in dividends there, though. Some of the vision games being played by RNG. Again, another ward's just been put down. One that TFP does spot out on the way through, and that's from Xiaohu.
It's pretty crazy. These ward placements are so creative. They've gotten to a point where they recognize the most common ward positions, so they go for the one that gives you the most amount of information, but also just in an awkward placement, so the max ward distance would still get the same info. So well done being able to see Nocturne constantly looking for a gank just beyond the Raptor wall, around mid lane.
This is actually an early Dragon start. While that warding position, Raz is spotting out XX, he's starting to have to get creative, moving towards the left side with the paranoia, but hasn't been used. And in that time, that's just been waited. Karsa gets the help with the bottom lane. They do the Mountain Drake, and that's going to be a very early objective over to RNG.
Yeah, good play overall from RNG to just go for it. The moment the control ward is placed, XX didn't even get to gather the members to roll around bot side. In fact, had he had done so, wouldn't have had Knight in a good position. Because although he's been able to push Xiaohu back a little bit in the lane, early on, he just doesn't have the mana to contest these fights. So at this moment in time, Knight needs to find a good back timing, and they need to slow the pace of this game because Karsa is trying to move this one quickly.
For the moment, you need level 11 Realm Warp so you can do something. Being in strange positioning against Ben and LokeN, who are constantly getting pushed into this lane, but invade now from Karsa to pick up this Raptor camp. He's about 10 CS ahead on this Lee Sin. XX still trying to find his way in as he clears camps at the same time.
Yeah, it's Tiamat on the Lee Sin, so of course that means that he can actually be a lot more clear focused. Try and constantly look to nab Raptors. He has the timer on the next Raptor, so expect him to go for the same play. 2 minutes 30.
Observer constantly baited into just watching the train. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels good.
Definitely feels
Almost
good.
feels good. AJ holding back to lane. 369 walking down. This is interesting. It's precarious almost. I think he was...
Think how hard it would be if he didn't have the ultimate, right? If Urgot wasn't... I mean, if Sion didn't have the ultimate to come back into the lane, he's either using teleport or he's giving so much more time now to 369 to look for a play around mid.
Yep.
So really forcing using his ultimate to gain tempo back because he's been pretty far behind in this lane matchup and needs to find avenues back into it.
369 just bullying him out of it at the moment. 1 kill. The cull is half stacked here for the Urgot. AmazingJ has got some expectations to live up to, considering 369 is still going for that rookie of the split. It's incredible that he can just come in 1 split and pretty much show up a lot of the top laners in the LPL.
We have some great top lane class so far.
Don't we just?
Ale's been so phenomenal for OMG, even with the difficult games that they've been having. They still have some great top laners that we've been having, domestic top laners that is. And then if you're moving outside domestic top laners, the mainstay, the OGs, the Jinus that we have are still kicking alongside Flandre. So
yeah,
I'd say today has been a really good top lane day.
Kim Goon's definitely an example of it as well, if we're just looking at LPL as the league. 369 hoping to fit into that one day as a mainstay, but actually taking the 1v1 against AmazingJ again. That's an ignite down just to be classy, but just trying to get the flash back in the inventory.
Yeah, it would be beneficial. He's going to be pushing this one up too, so he doesn't want to see a pesky jungler topside.
Still playing around that 2v2, Karsa around the wing. XX is here as well. Only level 1 paranoia. He keeps trying to get into this mid lane, but Xiaohu just won't let him.
Pretty cool to see now, Knight being able to finally push LeBlanc back. This is what you're starting to see with the matchup. He has teleport advantage too, so the fact that he was able to get a great trade while Xiaohu is still forced to be on the map, you might see XX try and take advantage of this.
I mean, he's losing his red buff. XX needs to get something, or at least a response red buff on the other side, which seems to be the case. Rift Herald has the ward down, so they won't spot out that XX is here. It's just trades for junglers at the moment. It's been a farm-heavy game, 12 minutes in, just that first blood set up by the solo kill of 369.
But it's definitely a trade that's being initiated by Karsa constantly, because he's taken full control of that bot side jungle, knowing the timers of these buffs and camps. Knight might be a victim here.
Might be jumped on. Here comes the hero's entrance. Paranoia pop down. Who does he go in on the mid laner there? Drops on down with the clone. Xiaohu still alive at the kickback. That's on to XX. 2 members of TOP here. They jump back in. XX being ignited. He will go down. Xiaohu picks up a kill, and RNG collapses on down. AmazingJ has to ult out of there. He successfully disengages as the bottom lane of TOP join the fight.
TOP initially play that well, but they're moving on a LeBlanc that obviously has their passive up to split up and move out there. And on top of that, Knight runs out of mana stat. So there we go, your DPS is gone. Uzi seems to be the next target.
Ben and LokeN coming in. There's a Realm Warp. Uzi, how does he get out? The feathers fly up versus 3. Waiting for the root call where he can't get it. Uzi drops down. LokeN getting his first of the game.
TOP are your playmakers. Just off that. 1 base, teleport back bottom lane. Uses Realm Warp to get behind Uzi. These are sick plays that you get to see, and we're going way back. Because Knight plays this one out well, but take a look at his mana. That's all you really need to see. Because the damage that Nocturne is able to play down there, he doesn't have the ability to follow up and Knight has nothing except for autos. At this point, you want to back away, but XX is already way too far back, so he's going to be the sacrifice.
Yeah, Knight had enough to just drop down the spell flux at the end, but that's not going to matter. A lot expended across the map. You can see these two teams rotating for the early skirmish is the biggest priority here. And then everyone just goes back to their essential lane. 14 minutes in now, plate falls, and plating rather. And we've got a 1k gold lead for RNG, but really nothing just yet.
Objective focused jungler. Karsa's just on it once again. There's no contest. It's been Karsa forcing the game plan at all times. He's taken full control of Drakenside because, as we mentioned, look at the vision control that they were able to layer down in the river area. That is 2 control wards in the bottom side river on both entrances. So how does Nocturne actually come down towards that area without getting seen? He gets seen. He just has to be able to figure out if it is the right play to make.
XX has given up a lot of his red side jungle from the word go as well. So it's really rough right now. Some of the deeper vision. Karsa says thank you to the Raptors. They spawned just in time.
Yeah.
And the bottom lane can just walk up here as well if there wants to be a contest from TOP.
You can't do this one. You definitely can't take Rift Herald. Take a look at LeBlanc leaning towards the top side, saying that if you want to do this, I will find you. Poke in the eye.
Xiaohu just, he's not there. Again, playing around that vision, it just seems the same old for both of these teams, and a lot of their wins come down to some of the vision. We compare against a team like IG. This is a chase against RNG. LokeN and Ben fancy the 2v2.
The better and more coordinated teams get, vision control means so much more. Ben is going to get picked off here.
Yeah, shielded Duran onto Ben. He's popped the ulti nice and early, but Karsa's coming in. This should be a dead Alistar. TP going to mitigate their losses. Leave it for now. He survives for so long, but not long enough.
You can see how much of a death trap this bot side is. This time it was just an Alistar, poking his head a little bit too far where it didn't belong, and he gets picked out. RNG have played through this side of the map so well. XX has just been lagging behind at every cost.
Unfortunately, he's only pulled one ultimate off. And it's 15 minutes of the game. First turret of the game drops, and it's to RNG.
And it's the bottom lane too. You know what that means? Ming is going to have the more freedom to rotate alongside Karsa and get stronger, deeper vision.
Yep.
I'd still say that use your bottom side wards. It's already in the red side jungle. No reason to give it up. It's also the side of the jungle that has the most experience, like Krugs and Raptors and Red Buff too. There's so much benefit of having control on that side of the map that there's no reason to give it up. Sure, Rift Herald is a really nice draw, but you know, yeah, I would send what I would do is I would send their dual lane towards mid lane, and I would still use Galio to get towards the red buff.
Oh, where's Uzi going? All right, well, top side of the map right now. Ming's going there as well. It'll be matched by the bottom lane of TOP. And spoke of that vision. Just noticing the fact that TOP have bought a couple of control wards and have grouped it closely together around that red buff, making sure that deep vision ends there. And very important for TOP. That lack of vision has been causing Karsa to just wreak havoc, and at the moment he's 30 CS ahead of XX. He's picking up this Rift Herald, and TOP don't have the vision remaining to know that this is going on.
I don't get this from AmazingJ being topside with them, because this is just free for now 369 to take down bot side turret, or at least get a lot of gold out of it. What they're saying is, you know, power play, we're taking Rift Herald and there's nothing you can do to stop us.
RNG just collapses 5, making sure the Rift Herald really is theirs. It's a free turret at the cost of it, but can RNG break down mid, and when? Because Knight's still here, a lot of wave clear available, and TOP still around that top side, so gonna have to play this safe. The Rift Herald was given over to Ming.
Giving Urgot a chance to get closer and closer to Righteous Glory is my pickup, so I would say at this point in time, he likely did it because, you know, he didn't have teleport available and he didn't want a fight to be happening without him. Makes a lot of sense in that regard, but it really just depends if that turret in the bottom lane is worth what Rift Herald would give you.
They push up in the wave very heavily as well, and AmazingJ had to respond to it. You can see 369 has actually moved up towards that top side, but he's heading back down bottom. Like you said, the heal is in inventory, so see when that gets changed out. Definitely worried about the 1v1 right now, but 369, as you said, probably close to that Righteous Glory. You assume the next back, he should have that available. 2-item Urgot at 18 minutes in the game, and we know that Urgot, this is 9.2, Urgot is absolutely busted.
It's so strong. Strong laner, strong front-to-back team fighter, and has the greatest duel along with the Karsa.
Yeah.
Because all you need is just whatever tank it is, whoever the target is. You need to get them below like 30% HP. As long as they're there, you have a great execution, which means that if you're going up against a tank, in this sense Sion, if you ever have Karsa trying to tag team along with you in side lane, she has great passive damage that can rip through a tank. And you just need to be able to get that down while, you know, Urgot ultimate is ticking, so. It's a pretty ridiculous. Oh no. Let's go.
Here we go, 1v1. Crab Rave begins again. This time XX has ulti available. Remember, this is going to be AmazingJ dead if he can't ult and get out of there. Is it blocked? Yes, it is. XX flashes forward. They want this. Fear Beyond Death is there. They drop the Herald top, but let's get this kill first. Into 369. That's his second kill, but RNG break down the turret. They're going for the second.
Just so tanky. In fact, this time around didn't even bring the Karsa. Said Karsa stay mid. Everyone else is going to be going to pick up the Sion.
Oh, this is an interesting teleport. This is going to be Knight, I believe. No, it's 369, 1v3. Was this the right call? The teleport was so ambitious. Herald gets the turret. It's going to get a second charge. They get the kill. And TOP can't stop this. This is going to be an inhibitor turret at 20 minutes in the game.
I wonder if they're going to go for the inhibitor, because that's one more push. It's just a bit of a stretch because they know that Ryze is coming back. Such an insane shove. They got a dragon and a wave bot side. Yeah. They thought that Urgot would be enough. But it's funny, whenever you see a Sion or an Urgot or any of these massive bruisers with huge resistances, they're like, there is no way they can take me under tower. I should have the ability to, you know, escape this from this freely, outplay a situation. Like, at least play it out intelligently. But they locked him down. They just burned through his HP. There was not much he could do as a response. So, you know, really damaging for TOP. They made that one call to pick up the kill in the side lane, and they paid for it in spades.
RNG decision making has been very big here, and it's the return of Uzi after Chinese New Year. It was the change in RNG, the feeling of the team, and we'll watch that feeling again come through with the teleport.
Karsa just sees this and he's like, well, I mean, I'm going to follow up with the taunt here. Kicks him. At this point, he starts moving now. Like, at this point, 369 can move and he's already below 40% HP, so there's not much of a response you can do to come out alive.
It's hard as well because, I mean, you just have health there. You got the Black Cleave, you got the Righteous Glory. There's no flat armor, flat MR. That really adds to the mix. RNG have got the full KFC support here. It's a 3k gold lead at 20 minutes in, but RNG have been playing around Karsa this whole time. It has been the jungle difference that has impacted this game the most.
Yeah, this is a possible playoff series, so you can just see Karsa being able to take this so seriously. Eliminates XX strategically, that is. Strategically, he had no control of red side jungle, just completely pushed him to the top side of the map. And then even then, had Xiaohu deny him on his camp, so there was no way he could take red buff comfortably. There was no way that he could access like Scuttle Crab in certain instances. So like there was so much experience being denied from access because of how Karsa and friends played this one out.
It was like dominoes though, wasn't it, Ryze? It was, okay, Karsa gets into the red side jungle. That vision means that Xiaohu can see XX coming if he wants to come back into his red side jungle and threaten the gank. And the mid lane that they wanted to focus around, that 2v2 has been stable for RNG. And for Knight, he hasn't really been in the game just yet, but they're going to start the fight. Okay. 369 slows down Ming. Ben indecisive on whether they want to go in.
They shouldn't now. Sion is with them. This is just a rushed call if they want to pick up a fight here. They had a good opportunity though. That was a good call from TOP to try and flank them up top.
Yeah.
But it was even better for... Wait a minute. Okay, thankfully.
Okay.
I was like, where are you trying to do with this one?
This might be okay. It's only Uzi and AmazingJ, but the wave clear should be enough for TOP. Just wondering where to go next. They're invading towards the red side. Could threaten the Baron here, or at least a bait in the brush.
That's the danger. TOP is so fast-paced as a team that they just want to fight. If they want it, they'll find any way to bring it to them. Oh no.
They might have to.
They have to now. Or they're losing mid lane turret.
with Intertrack, TOP coming one by one.
You can't take the shortcut mid.
Sonic Wave connect, 369. Remember, still tanky enough with HP. TOP defend the mid lane turret, fend RNG off, send them packing.
I love being able to see teams with mid lane priority and how confident they are in pushing that forward. Because at this point in time, you're seeing RNG saying, okay, we can actually come and try and contest around mid, and how far they can go. TOP gets this push here, but what does it really mean? Oh, that's what it means.
It means a flash down from 369. And that's a big summer to be burnt, especially around the Baron, especially around the upcoming team fight that you know is tingling on the edge.
Because RNG being able to take that top lane inner tower meant that they could go far deep into the blue side jungle of TOP, put down control wards, and have that long of a time to basically say we're playing around Baron and you won't have vision on the journey over. But TOP has really played to that top side of the map for so long that now they have that control.
There's no ward in here just yet. They should know RNG that this is going on. Ben is on zoning. They're doing the Baron very quickly.
They should know by now.
At 6k, Xiaohu's coming in. RNG, they don't grab. It's a free Baron for TOP.
I don't know how they found out that Karsa based. I don't even know if they did know that Karsa based. But just being able to push and then immediately just get on top of it. Remember, trying to steal up against a Nocturne composition just throws out ultimate. You can't see a damn thing. So well played for TOP to come back into this game.
And you know what? If Karsa was counter-jungling XX the whole time, you know what counteracts it? That Baron counteracts so much of RNG's early game that now at 25 minutes in, TOP close to shortening that gap, but more likely able to push down that mid turret that they've been trying to do.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're prioritizing. Like, sure, they want to take the outer turret mid, but man, you could already see where Ryze is going. This team is so good in side lanes as a 1-3-1. Ooh, RNG want this.
Might be spotted out by Ward. Karsa hanging around by that scuttle and that dragon. RNG off to this side of this mid lane.
Yeah, dragon means nothing at this point. What does mean a lot is if they push through mid lane, the ability for Xiaohu and Karsa to go for a flank is so easy like that. Especially the flash kick that we would expect from Karsa, we've seen so often. Seems like it's going to be a dragon for a mid lane tower here. Right. Oh, they've been split up.
Okay, hang on, the fight started. Ben has found Xiaohu. Uzi off into the side. AmazingJ didn't burn flash, but he's got to get out of there. TOP with the Baron buff can continue pushing in, but Ben is low. AmazingJ off through the side of the lane. Here's a Realm Warp to save the mid and support. Flash from Ming. They're on to 369. Separated and now TOP. Ben finds the knock up here. Hero's entrance to no one. Uzi again. Sending out the feathers, ready to bring it back with the Blade Caller.
Watch out, AmazingJ. Ulti is there for 369. You just don't want to be a target.
Karsa still has Flash and Dragon's Rage. 369 can't die just yet. Karsa right next to the chickens.
They just spawned at the same time.
That's very annoying. There's a ward there as well.
Yeah.
Still for Xiaohu. He's trying to get the pick off on the side. You can see that XX is so darn squishy.
This is great from RNG. They've wasted so much of TOP's Baron run. Here comes a teleport because they're relentless. But what they need to do, side lanes are important.
Yeah.
They can't play towards Knight. They need to split up the map so RNG can't defend this so easily.
It's going to be hard. There's a large minion wave coming towards this turret with Baron. It's hitting pretty hard. AmazingJ does find the knock up on tonight. That decimating smash needs to be key here. And whoa! Yep. Xiaohu just walks into the face of danger, and TOP send him to the wrong side of the map. RNG lose their bottom lane turret, and gold is getting thinner by the second.
It's just a really risky way to play this one out. It's when you take a look at how some Vitality games, out of all of the teams in the world, I think that as risky as they can be, they play out side lane split push very well.
Yeah.
So for a team that has Baron, a Ryze, and Urgot, and has some great push in mid, there's no excuse to be grouping up that heavily. Allow some space for Knight to work alone, because he can play up against anybody on side lane.
He's got himself a 1k gold lead, and for Knight, almost level 16 as well. Now, of course, Ryze, it's a Realm Warp, so don't worry. 16 doesn't mean too much. But at this point, Knight almost has his third item. And he has that Seraph's Embrace, so there's a lot of safety in this side lane Ryze. He picked up blue buff before, excuse me, and should be able to push out that top lane wave, remembering that Baron has expired for TOP.
The clock's ticking. Right now RNG has mid lane pressure, but where did they go? Like, there's no objective at the moment in time for RNG to pick up. You would start looking far ahead and saying, okay, we'll look for vision control around top side.
Yeah.
We'll try and dig pretty deep. But remember what that means. TOP is already on the ball, so you need to, if you want to get it done, you have to re-push mid but even now, Xayah is there pushing, so there's no right answer.
And I love that Ben actually waits for the Scry's Bloom to be procced before he drops down the ward. It's just the little things here from the support of TOP, making sure that vision control is more sustainable in the enemy jungle. And RNG, they're focused towards that bottom side, because you can see it is another Cloud, but it is another elemental Drake for RNG. When you have a LeBlanc, when you have a Lee Sin, even a Sion, you know, speed is of the essence.
It's just that these fights have been so delayed because AmazingJ is not confident being the frontliner without a Gargoyle Stoneplate. These fights have been delayed to a point. He has stopwatch, sure. He has quite a bit of tankiness in both magic resist and armor. But at this point in time, he really needs to be able to have that a larger effective HP that Gargoyle Stoneplate would give you.
He's also going to be scared because for 369, he's kind of beating him to the punch with his own Gargoyle Stoneplate. So impact in a team fight. AmazingJ threatened by this rookie who has a BF sword and is heading towards that GA. And AmazingJ should be close towards that Stoneplate as well. There's a Warden's Mail in his inventory. So a lot of the damage being punched out by LokeN. Yeah, it'll hit, but of course the on-hit will hurt even more.
The beauty of League of Legends is you look at the map, you say, okay, Baron's coming up very soon. Push mid immediately. Like, mid right now means so much. You can't afford TOP to be on the pit first, because if they try and rush down Baron, they'll do exactly the same how they did last time.
Yeah.
There is no way for Karsa to look to steal it if he can't see the Baron HP. Wards will not matter when you're going up against a Nocturne.
Cannot even get near this brush as well. Karsa has to throw out Sonic Waves just to get near. Baron's up in 5 seconds. Cloud Drake in 20, but screw the Cloud. We're docking that somewhere. Oh no, Karsa.
Knight doesn't have teleport. They must have a timer on that. RNG have a window right now with Sion here where they can look for a fight.
Knight has walked up, so he's going to be in the next fight. XX was sitting around the side, ready to ult. RNG trying to get this pick that they desperately need, but at least they get vision control around the Baron, forcing out TOP.
Just don't expect either team to be going back bottom lane. It's pretty even at the moment in time. TOP have no interest there. Perhaps AmazingJ could, but they need him to actually just face tank. They don't need him teleporting in like a creative like top laner.
Yeah.
They need him walking forward alongside them.
Doing exactly that while RNG just proxies themselves in the mid wave. TOP have left their AD carry to pick up this Cloud Break. And now what happens towards Baron? RNG make the move.
The fact that they had, like, the moment Dragon cries out, you know that they're on the wrong side of the map.
How quickly is this going down though? Xiaohu goes to the pick instead. It's a bait. They find two with the knock up. AmazingJ. There's the combo. RNG. The team fight gods. Can they find a clear one? Look at LokeN in the backside. And Knight as well. LokeN ulties in. The AoE continues on. Knight hitting from the side. He'll realm warp in. RNG are running away from this AD carry. LokeN makes a name. And that was just too clean from TOP.
That was beautiful. Uzi had no place to escape. He still had his flash, and I would love to see his point of view when we get into the next replay. But he gets obliterated almost instantly. Just take a look at how many damage threats are on the side of TOP, and that instant backstage access.
TOP after that fight, pick up the Baron. Uzi dropped. AmazingJ just got destroyed as well. He got chunked out. And Knight just held himself from over the wall. TOP, a very well-placed fight. They hold a strong lead in this game one.
The ability for this composition to reposition saved them so much time in this fight, because RNG had a great way to start it out. Sion ultimate into the Galio ult is how you want to start off most of your fights. But take a look at Uzi's perspective when he's going front to back. Boom, gets popped up. And at this point, Nocturne goes all in, and Xayah backs him up. There is no safe space at that point for you, because you even had Knight who was across the wall. Yeah. So it was one of those moments where you try and look back and see where it all went wrong, because it looks so well orchestrated from RNG at the very beginning. But there's just so much threat that Xayah has to deal with.
Okay, so LokeN is our point. We got so many points of focus here, Ryze. XX has actually made a couple of good paranoias now. And I think we have to, or at least I have to take back that the first two paranoias is what makes a Nocturne. Well, seems to be the third and fourth here that XX has really executed on.
I'll say in terms of how the team fights should play out, LeBlanc is going to lose a lot of effectiveness in these team fights. LeBlanc, unless if she gets an instant pick off of somebody, is going to have a lot of difficulties dealing with an Alistar in particular. Ryze is another rough one. There are so many people with so much resistance, outward resistances, that not even Ryze is a viable option in this composition. So I think Xiaohu's really struggling with the LeBlanc pick with how much this game is focused around just 5v5 team fighting.
Issue is as well, as soon as that, just back to the paranoia, as soon as it struck, Xiaohu can't do too much, being blinded. But 369 is still taking damage from the LeBlanc, so pick potential is still definitely there if the Urgot gets caught out, and RNG just trying that pick still.
They have bot and mid lane wave coming in at the same time, which is usually a big plus, but they're not in position to actually look for a dive here. XX is trying to be cute here, doesn't have an opening, and top lane wave is actually slow pushing.
Top lane is actually going towards RNG. Good block there from Ben to keep 369 alive. He pops the stopwatch right in front of the inhibitor turret. LokeN aggressing up. Now the Baron buff is still working out. Mid lane is slowly pushing back in, and like you said, RNG, their top wave is pushing against TOP, so they'll back away, and that Baron buff still has a minute remaining.
Yeah, so a smart slow push topside, while at the same time being in close proximity of mid and bot lane to be able to defend it. So best defense you can ask for makes it so LokeN has to be able to push this alongside. They still have some time with their Baron. Not enough to actually fully push top lane in. So I think they're kind of screwed if they want to get top lane back in position. So they're going to have to go back in time, Elder Dragon in 52nd, get LokeN away from the top lane, try and contest it.
You've got 25 seconds left of Baron. Elder's going to spontaneously spawn afterwards. TP do not know Xiaohu's here, but if he face checks into 3, Ben will not find himself dead. Xiaohu just can't do enough.
Just as long as the chain hit, that would have been a good chunking on towards Ben.
Yep. But it's kind of the if at this point for Xiaohu. Second lead large rod. The first, rather, going towards his 4th item. Big moment now for TOP, however. That Elder's coming up. They're prepared around it. Look at where RNG are just going towards that mid lane.
Xiaohu still doesn't have flash. As long as the fight doesn't happen in the next 20 seconds, he's going to be fine. Same can be said for Ming. So really, these members are all reeling in from the last fight, where summoners are just being waited for. I wouldn't expect either team to start a fight until they get it. Same goes for LokeN, who's still really close to it.
Yeah, hang on, I heard a ghost somewhere. That's going to be the Urgot. So maybe LokeN doesn't have...
Really low.
Yeah, doesn't have the flash available. LokeN does ult into the back. It's onto Xiaohu. Takes a 1v1. Xiaohu's already way out of the fight. The Dragon resets into the backside. Great flank here, but Uzi finds the ultimate down. The hero's entrance again leaps back in. 369 in the middle of it. Uzi survives. AmazingJ has played so much time here in the backside. LokeN finds him first, but with the GA pop, 369 is dead. Top laners have dropped. But does the fight stop? Yes, for now, as the Dragon resets, TOP and RNG both back away.
It took a long time for both top laners to fall. It's kind of insulting for a Sion for an Urgot to last just as long. Now, he had a Guardian Angel, fair enough, but that was pretty insane to be able to see that. And so both AD carries, while I would say they're both healthy, I'm afraid of LokeN, who's fully powered, full HP, full mana. Here we go, putting in extra damage on the Karsa as well.
Heal as well, yeah, Karsa at half health now. Xiaohu's back in the fight. TOP edging towards it. Sitting in that Pixel Brush, which is not watered just yet. Xiaohu does poke onto LokeN, who has the GA now, but
getting low.
The 5,000 health. TOP, who backed? It was the teleport. They're ready for Knight. That's all that matters. 3K. They need to burst this down or pick a fight. Knight tags it.
They're not confident about this anymore. RNG just wants a fight.
They're not resetting it fully, though. They jump back in. The teleport now. This is AmazingJ.
KHP.
It's 5 versus 4.
Oh my
God. They get Karsa in the backside. RNG still on the Dragon. It's secured by XX. Now for the fight as 369 is backing up. LokeN destroys, cleans house, and Royal Never Give Up are losing out to the rookie upstarts here with 369 and the rest of TOP.
Knight is a legend. He zones in, tunnels in on Karsa, gets the execution damage. So easy for XX to just flash into the pit and pick up the Elder Dragon. That was the difference, and that will win them this game.
Whether it's been Knight, whether it's been 369, even XX there with the steal away after Karsa dropped. Whether it was LokeN, TOP come together, show us why they're the new faces of the LPL, and why Game 1 leads us to the rest of this series.
There were so many stars that really just aligned for TOP. They were behind a little bit. RNG had so much early game focus, but guess who slowed this one down? TOP did. Guess who really just focused in on mid lane priority? It was TOP. And when it came to these major objectives, major team fights, Uzi was eliminated to begin with around Baron fight. And then in the iconic Elder Dragon fight, Bases teleports in. Ryze looks to flash in when there was 2k HP left on the Elder Dragon, and Karsa gets deleted. I really hope, I don't know, man. It's either between Knight or LokeN that gets MVP for me. This is when you probably just give it to the fans, the audience, to just like vote. I don't know, give it to me. It obviously won't impact I don't even impact the MVP list here. So I think in terms of all of the team fights throughout the entire game, I would give it to LokeN. But there are some key moments that Knight just went ham in.
Yeah, LokeN started the Baron up team fight, or at least just ultied in when 4 members were surround the Pixel Brush, and then it came down to Knight in that final fight, as you said. But TOP just, like, there is just something magical about this team that even going up against RNG, a fully fledged RNG, they just look fantastic.
I think that, once again, being behind in a game, this is what I didn't expect for TOP. Going into the split, I expected great individual skill. That was easy. Early game, easy. Reminds me of like 2017 Spring Split, where there are just so many strong mechanical players for Suning across the board. But then it came down to later on in the game, I didn't have the faith for the team to be able to make those hard, tough, late game decision making, like the shot calls, being disciplined and slow enough. That is not the case for TOP. TOP, I think a lot of it goes through Ben. Not a lot of people, sing his praises because he has so many stars on his lineup. But like these slow decisions that they make to really claw their way back into the game and really just make the Nocturne relevant.
Yeah.
I thought it was excellent to see.
XX got shut out very early. There was a 30 CS discrepancy in the jungle. Karsa counter jungle towards that red side, and Vision was such a big factor in that game. And then it came down to, all right, who are the stars of TOP? We talked about 369, got a solo kill onto AJ, and then it was more about influencing that Sion lane, but it just came down to those fights at the end anyway.
It's pretty crazy to see that not only is the laning phase being handled by TOP in terms of just like the individual players that we already were looking towards, Knight and then in the top lane 369, but then you pull them into a team fight, it looks even better. Yeah,
that's right. It was coordinated, it was beautiful, and I hope this goes the full distance. We'll find out. Game 2 coming right up at TOP and RNG.